And evidently Asia Books liked this one better. And so I think it's a mother and a daughter in kind of rain on the window. I think they thought it was probably Mango Rains. Now, I like this cover. I'm not putting it down or anything. But
Yes.
it's amazing that, it's not really your book. You're very much in the hands of the people who are trying to sell it. So.
Yes. You mentioned Asia Books, so it's being distributed in Thailand by Asia Books.
Right. Asia, through all their outlets, but it's also being released in Malaysia and Singapore. I'm led to believe that they're going to release it in Ireland, perhaps, and England maybe in June. And if you go to Amazon.com, it's going to be released in June. Now, I don't know how true that is or not, but it's listed on Amazon. But
I think if it's listed on Amazon, it will be there. Tell me, what was it like the first time you opened up the Maverick House website and there was your book? Describe that feeling.
It's kind of indescribable. You see your name, and like you said, put your name into Google and see what comes up, and it came up author, Dan Dorothy author, which is the first time ever, and I'm getting goosebumps because it's it's an amazing thing. Something I would never have dreamed about having happened.
They say there's a book in everyone. All right, you've got your book. Is this the book? Is it the only book? Or are we now writing another?
I hope it's not the only one. I actually have another one that's partly written, and I've got a third that I may jump to the head of the queue about a Thai woman who has AIDS. And she has about a couple years to live, so I think if I'm going to write about her, then I better hurry up and do that one first. So yeah, hopefully this is just the first of many.
What sort of tips have you got for the people out there who say, "Oh, I'd love to write a book. I've got this idea for a book." What's your advice to them?
There's many things. Number one, you can't write a book without writing. You have to write. When I started writing Mango Rains, once I started a notebook, by the way, with hand pages and whatnot. This is back in '92, before internet or computers were that big. And I set out a goal for myself. At that time, I said I'm going to write 1 page a day. And I did that for a while. And afterwards, 1 page wasn't enough because I would just keep on going. And I bought a Tandy computer, which had 1 megabyte hard drive. Nowadays,
Big stuff.
exactly, yeah, it's incredible. Very expensive, $1,500. And then I started bumping up my goals to 5 pages a day. And I went with that for a while until it was done. So number one is you have to write. You can't just think about it and not do anything about it. You have to actually sit down and write. And it doesn't have to be the book all the time. It can be anything. It can be a journal or whatever. The second thing is that I think you kind of have to become your characters. You have to have a split personality a bit, and know your characters. So that I know that if this situation come up, I knew like well enough that this is how she's going to react to the situation. And if it's just a narrative from your own perspective, then it's going to come off that way. So you have to become your characters. You have to indulge yourself completely in the book and set aside a lot of time because it's not something you can do 5 minutes a day.
You talk about time. Did you find that you were better to write at night or first thing in the morning, or was it no particular time?
Creativity is a fleeting thing. You write when it's there, and you do manual things when it's not there. Go correct spelling or whatever. If you don't have the creativity, a lot of my creativity comes at 3 o'clock in the morning when I'm laying in bed and I can't sleep. All these ideas come through, and so I keep a notebook by the side of my bed and I write things down. Then whatever time of day I can set aside to write, then I go over my notes and try to recapture the feelings that I had when I was trying to sleep.
So you don't actually try to combat writer's block, you just accept the fact that there will be days of writer's block and do something else. Is that
Of course, yeah. And there's so much more to writing a book than just writing a book. I mean, that sounds kind of contradictory, but there's a lot of organization. For me, I like to have a timeline. I like to know what's going on at different times. And rarely do I write linear. I don't start at the beginning of the book and write until the end. Sometimes I might write a chapter that happens way down the road just because I have the feeling for it. And this is what's in my mind. If I write it and then I just set it aside, and then later when I'm putting it all together, when I'm not creative, I say, okay, this would probably go good here. Things like that. There's manual things to it as well, and research.
All right, Dan, thank you very much indeed. Ladies and gentlemen, there it is. Mango Rains. It's available through Asia Books and all the bookazine outlets. It's how much?
525, I think.
525 baht, and I have read it. I have read it twice, and honestly, it is the most moving book about life in Thailand. Not Dan's life or my life, or even your life, but the real life for the real Thai people. It's an eye-opener in many ways. It's a tearjerker. It's a book that you will carry in your heart after you've read it. Dan, Dorothy, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you, Doc. It's a pleasure being here.
And Pattaya, go and get it. Congratulations, Dan.
Thanks, sir.
Gazing out my window on a wondrous winter's night, at a star that shone so brightly, and the beauty of the sight. I heard shepherds tell of angels